And Emma James has joined us on set. Welcome,
Hi there.
Emma. You've been taking a look at a dirty-mouthed interview that has the whole world talking. It sounds like it was explosive.
It certainly was. We were told when Anthony Scaramucci was brought in as the new communications director at the White House that he was a colourful character, but nobody realised just how colourful his language was going to be, even when speaking on the record. He called up New Yorker reporter Ryan Litzer and unleashed what was a really startling verbal onslaught. He threatened to sack his entire department and said he wanted to kill leakers. He's at war, he would say, with those who leak stories to the press. Now, what he was angry about and what prompted this phone call was a tweet by Ryan Litzer in which he talked about the dining options of Mr. Scaramucci that night. He apparently was with Donald Trump and various other people, and he cited a senior White House official as saying that Melania was also there. And it is the fact that a senior White House official said anything to a reporter that got Mr. Scaramucci so fired up. In this phone call, he attacked his West Wing colleagues. He talked about the chief strategist Steve Bannon and Reince Priebus, the White House chief of staff, saying that he believed there was a plot against him and he believed Reince Priebus was the source of the information for those tweets. He then said if you want to leak something, he will be asked to resign very shortly, talking about Reince Priebus there, which of course makes him a leaker himself, rather ironically. It's really highlighted the scale of the divisions in the White House right now, but it is the language that was used that has really shocked people.
Profanity-laced, right?
At a time when people take a lot of shocking these days, and it's caused newsrooms around the world to have very lengthy debates about what can and can't be said. Bearing in mind, these are the words of the White House's official communications director. The New York Times were among those who did print the whole thing. Clifford Levy is their deputy editor. He tweeted, "We concluded that it was newsworthy that a top Trump aide used such language," going on to say that we didn't want our readers to have to search elsewhere to find out what Scaramucci said, because in this day and age, people don't just buy a newspaper and read it. They surf the web, they go elsewhere if they can't find what they want to read about. What is interesting to note, though, is that the New York Times in subsequent articles actually left out the worst of the words, just talking in terms of tirades, trash talk, an explosion of profanity. The Washington Post, too, referred to a vulgar tirade rather than putting his actual words in the headline. The UK's Mirror newspaper decided to use some asterisks to protect their readers from the full extent of the vulgarity. Fox News got so panicked by the content of what he said that they actually bleeped out a word that isn't actually an expletive, as this Twitter user pointed out. We are governed by different limitations here in broadcasting. So I won't be repeating any of the words, but what I can tell you is he called Reince Priebus a effing paranoid schizophrenic. And then when talking about Steve Bannon said that he wasn't like him, "I'm not trying to suck my own," and then used an alternative word for rooster. Now, unsurprisingly, he's a bit unhappy that all this has come out. He said, "I made a mistake in trusting a reporter. It won't happen again." But the reporter in question says he 100% knew it was all on the record.
All right, Emma. Well, staying with U.S. politics, it seems that Senator John McCain is a hero on Twitter again, thanks to his vote against the, quote, skinny repeal of Obamacare.
Absolutely. John McCain's always been something of an American hero, a lifetime of public service, and, of course, a veteran of the Vietnam War. But on Tuesday, he upset an awful lot of people, and we saw a lot of tweets like this because, of course, John McCain has just been diagnosed with brain cancer. After having surgery paid for by taxpayers, as this person points out, he voted to actually continue the debate on a healthcare bill that would take away the insurance for 22 million Americans. A lot of people were very unhappy, but, of course, now he has voted to block the skinny repeal. He's everybody's hero again. On the final vote that counted, his actions matched his words, says John Favreau. Now, for those people who are a little bit confused as to why he changed his stance in this way, The Atlantic writes about him saying despite some of the most fevered denunciations, he is not a man without principle, but his principles are unusual. He values process, decorum, and Senate traditions, and people simply can't understand that.